Well, today I'm going to use chicken wire. I have no idea what I'm going to make. I was given a roll of chicken wire and I'm never one to say no to something that I could use to craft with. I've cut the first bit off and I've made that shape, which I think looks like the head of something, but not quite sure what. I've decided to do a cat because I think that looks like the start of a cat's head. I've done a very rough sketch to give me something to work with. So I've got the beginnings of the head and I've cut myself a piece of wire off. Now what I would strongly recommend as well, if you're using wire, is to wear some gloves to protect your hands. I haven't got any, so that's going to be that. There's probably a proper way to do all this, but I have no idea what it is. So I want that head to go onto a body that's sitting at about that sort of shape. So my head, well, that looks like something out of a horror movie, doesn't it, so far? That don't matter. My head is going to go on to there, and this is only going to make a frame. I want this back bit to be a little bit more arched like that, because my cats never did sit with a flat back. They always they always sat with an arched back. I think that's coming on. If I connect that head to there, and with this chicken wire, when it was wrapped up, it came with some little tiny thin bits of wire, so I'm just going to use that to attach this head to there by just threading it through, giving it a bit of a twist, and then threading it through there, and then back through there. I'm quite excited about this, even though it's looking absolutely awful. But it doesn't mean it's going to look awful at the end, because this is just a frame. Meow. So I need another bit the other side to do the same with. Well, I've made two back legs just out of the wire, just by sculpting it round. And I'm going to put that on the cats about there. And I'm going to attach that using wire again. And then I'm going to do two tubes coming off the front here to do front legs. It's just looking a bit scary at the minute. And these was really easy to do. I just cut two strips about that wide and then sculpted it round using my hands. Well, we're getting there now. So I've got the back feet on. I've got the first part of the head. I've put a little bit more wire on the back to give it a bit more of an arched back. I've made just two rolls of the chicken wire here, like that, which are going to go there to be his or her front paws. I also found out these pliers work really, really well for helping me wire things in. How I'm going to do that again is exactly the same way. Just pop a little bit of wire in through the actual leg itself into the body. Hold it there like that. Get my long nose pliers. Pull that bit of wire through. And then I can wrap it round like that. And I shall do that in a few places. I'll do another bit here and probably another bit further down, and then that'll be it. And then I'll do the head. I finished all the wire work and it was just a case of making bits, adding it on, wiring them on, and then really sculpting it. Now, I'm not sure if this looks like a cat, a dog, a polar bear, grizzly bear, or what it looks like. So I think what we'll do is we will make that decision when it's finished. But I'm quite pleased with the overall shape. So now I want to cover it, and I can't just cover this with paper mache as it is because it's just going to fall through and make a mess. I'm going to cover it with masking tape first. And as this is the very first time I've ever done anything like this, then it is all really a bit of an experiment. But I think if the masking tape sticks to the wire, which I can't see why it wouldn't, then I'm going to be able to put on the paper mache that I made quite easily going forward. And I'm just going to really mummify it. It may look more like a cat, or it may look just like a dog, or it may just look like a nothing. But we'll see once I've mummified it. Yeah, and that's sticking on there lovely. So I'm going to go ahead and mummify it. Well, I've mummified it, and actually I do think it's starting to look a little bit more like a cat. A little bit cartoony cat, but that's fine. That's the kind of thing I wanted. Now it's all covered in the painter's tape or masking tape, what I can do is really firm that up by covering it in brown paper and some PVA glue. Well, my little cat is now all dried and he's gone lovely and hard, and I think he's coming out quite well. What I'm going to do is use my paper mache kind of clay or paste and do a thin layer over him with this. Now this is about 7 weeks old now and it's still as good as it was when I first made it. I will put the recipe on my website in the free members area, so if you want to make it you can. I only want a really thin layer on here because that'll dry really quickly and it will smooth it all out and it will give it a nice hard finish. I'm going to put it everywhere. Now, I think it is starting to look a little bit more cat-like, although I'm not 100% convinced. And if you want to smooth it out any, you just dip your little knife or whatever you're using into some water and that will smooth it out lovely. Well, my cat's completely cured up now and it's all gone lovely and hard. This paper mache that I made is amazing. Look how hard that is. So what I'm going to do now is paint the whole thing silver because I intend to cover it in, ooh, these sparkly silver sequins. Now it's going to be a little bit time consuming, but I don't mind. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to attach that. So all I'm going to use is the Arteza silver paint to give it a coat first. And then once I've done that, I'll come back and I'll show you how I'm going to attach the sequins. Well, this is all lovely and dry now, and the reason I painted it silver was just in case there is any gaps behind this, and then I'm not going to see them because it's going to be silver. But I am going to overlap this as I go round. I will just take one off the end of the string to start with, like that, and then I will glue the string over onto itself. And that way you get a nice, neat start. Now, all I've got here is some UHU or all-purpose glue. I've decanted it into a little bottle because I just find it's easier, and I'll show you why in a second. And then just turn that one over. If you don't want to do it with your fingers, you can do it with a set of tweezers, and that'll give you a nice, neat start. So I'm going to start on the tail, and I'm actually going to start here on this bit of the tail and do a swirl going all the way around. I do pieces at a time and then join them on. Now, the reason I use this all-purpose glue is because I find it is probably one of the best glues. It dries clear, which is great. And if you don't get to it straight away to put the thing on, then you've still got quite a few minutes to add it to. So I've got exactly the same in there as in there. Now, as you saw, I put some on the tail, and what I'm going to do is just spread that around to make sure it's covered everywhere, and this will be very permanent as well. And then what I'll do is I will cut off a piece of this in the length that I think is manageable. So for instance, I'll cut that off there. I don't need to glue that end over, although you can if you want to, because I've already done the other end. And all I'll do is pop the first one in the center there like that, and then I will go around and overlap that first one like that as I go around. And this is going to take probably a couple of hours to do it. Work in a bit of a ventilated area as well, because this glue does have an odd smell to it, but nothing major. And then push it down as I'm going round, overlapping as I'm going. This is why it's nice to have manageable bits rather than try and do like really long lengths all in one go. And to be honest, if you do miss a bit or you have any gaps, you can always go in afterwards with a few sequins and no one's going to notice. Try and keep them even as well, because that way you'll get a nicer effect. But again, it isn't going to make a massive difference. But it is going to be a sparkly. I do love a little bit of sparkle. And as much as I love glitter, and you know how much I love glitter, what this isn't going to do is it's not going to come off and make a mess. I can now push those pieces down, and that is all nice and sparkly. Look at that. Go round, check all your bits, that you've got it all twisted in nicely, nothing spare. And then just finish off the rest of the cat like that. I've made some eyes and a collar for the cat, and all I did was took a little bit of card and put some sequins on it, all going the same way, and then put some sequins going around there so it can tie up or glue together like that. And I've also made some eyes. Now I want to put some glitter on the eyes because I think the sequins will lose it. But I have put sequin in the middle, and all I did was I cut out 2 eyes, put some sequins in, and then glued this onto the front. Now for adding the glitter on, I want to make sure this sticks on really well, so I don't want it to come off. I'm using the gold leaf glue. I find that works really well for glitter. And what I'll do is I'll let this dry for about 15 minutes until it's gone completely transparent, and then I'll put the glitter on it. My cat's all finished. I am so pleased. I love it. It is so sparkly. And I just think upcycling things using chicken wire that I got given, my own paper mache from old newspapers, and strips of paper from Amazon, and I think the cat has come out well. Obviously, I had to buy the sequins. He does look a little bit of a podgy cat, and perhaps it's a little bit more of a bear than a cat, but I don't mind. I just love it. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. And I'm definitely going to be doing some more things with sequins. I'm going to do some signs, and also I'm going to try and do my whole logo in sequins as well to see how that will come out. You know me, I love anything sparkly. Please boot the like button if you've enjoyed this video. It really does help my video get out there. I hope this one's going to be a popular video, so please share it. That'll help it to get out there. And if you'd like to buy me a coffee or get hold of anything that I've used in this project, then the links for that are in the description below. Everything's really appreciated. Take care. Enjoy your crafting. Bye.